What up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. I am one half of this thing, King Smith. Usually co-hosted with me tonight is my main man coach, a U.S Army veteran. He is still taking care of business, so to speak, today, drawing up the X's and O's. So y'all just get this face tonight. I'm one of the hosts here at WTF Nation Radio and one of the shows here, but we have shows streaming across most platforms almost every night here. You can see the shows up here on the screen. We got a Monday show, a Tuesday show. We got the Smoke Pit on Wednesdays, Sergeant Time on Thursdays, FTX, which I was just a part of on Fridays, and weekly co-ops by my main man, Nemo, on Saturdays. All shows start at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time Zone. I believe my audio might be jacked up, so I'm going to be on mute a second. Hold up. Okay, nope. My audio is good. All right, so let's bring this back up. First of all, let me just start off by saying Alabama is not in the playoffs, and I'm not okay. I am not okay. And we're going to talk about it. As a matter of fact, we're going to, if anybody wants to call in, please do call in at 415-889-8367. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. There are some things that occurred here over the weekend with Alabama not making it that, you know what? We need a better solution. There was a 14 playoff, and everybody said we should go from 4 and expand it to either 8, 12, or 16. And the college football committee settled on 12. And when they did that, I said there's going to be a scenario that I can see where people aren't going to be happy with 12, and it should go to 16. I think 16 is a nice, even number. It gets a good amount of colleges that are in and deserving colleges as well. Because look, you can't tell me that SMU and who they played is better than Alabama. You can't tell me that Notre Dame is better than Alabama. I think we're going to see some of these teams that were undeserving get in and get mollywopped. And people are going to realize that, hey, even a 3-loss Alabama team is still better than some of these fools that made it. So we're going to talk about it, all right? The Smoke Pit said, oh, dang, it's King. What up, man? Scott Risval said, no 3-loss team deserved it. Even a crappy Army team deserved it more. You think so, Scott? You think so? Call in. Let us know. Look, I'm also wanting to test this call in too. I'm not sure if I got my settings right, but we'll find out. Shout out to my lady, my boo thing, Michelle Early, over on Facebook. And God happened to me over on YouTube. I appreciate if there's a like button on your platform, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps us out on the algorithms. But before we talk about this college football thing, I see, okay. Scott said, I meant they didn't deserve to be in it. SMU isn't, but deserving isn't what it's all about. They get stumped for sure. Absolutely. 100%. God happened to me said that. I agree with you. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. All right. I'm going to share my screen here and show something that I thought was interesting. Let's bring this up here. So, with all of the games that played in the NFL today, one of the matchups that people easily thought would have been a shoo-in was the matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. Philly's been phenomenal all season this season. Carolina's been absolutely trash all season this season. So you better believe that the money in Vegas was all in on the Panthers. Somebody was so much all in on the Panthers that they bet what is now believed to be the largest regular season NFL bet in history. And I'm going to bring this up. The largest regular season NFL bet, and it came down to the wire on this actually being able to pull out and come through for the bettor. All right, she said. Nope. Let's do it this way. All right, one bettor bet $3.1 million on the Eagles winning, and they bet it with the Circa Sportsbook out of the state of Kentucky. This unidentified bettor living in Kentucky placed the money line bet on the Eagles with the odds of -700, which only would have netted $445,000, I believe. Yep. It was as long as Philly won, the bettor would have netted $442,857, all while betting $3.1 million, which everybody would have said, yo, that is the safest bet that anybody could ever do, right? Whew. Well, I'm going to show the play that occurred that almost showed that bet almost lost this bettor $3.1 million. And look, whoever it is that bet that $3.1 million, do you have friends? Because if you don't, King Smith will be your friend. Let's bring this up here, except I did not send it to myself. We're going to do this live. Y'all, this has been an interesting day with trying to get this live stream together. So I'm going to send myself the clip and hope that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't zuck me. And I'm going to keep talking while I feel airtime so that it's not silent while I do all of this. All right, the video's in. Let me get it up on the screen here. And I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to have it muted so that I can do my best to not get zucked. But here's the play. Here's the play right here. It was on this play that the bettor secured their 442,000 net positive. Xavier Legette gets the ball, and in real speed, it looked like he caught it. In normal motion, it looked like he caught it, and that Philadelphia would have been down with 40-something seconds left, and the game would have been over. So that was the second down pass. One ref ruled it a catch and a touchdown. Another ref ruled it is incomplete. But watch what happened. He's got it. He's got it. Didn't get it all the way down. When he hit the ground, he didn't necessarily fall upward or have the ball completely secured. The ball, when he was going to the ground, went down to the side and sat between the ground and his arm. And the ref that was standing over on that side ruled it incomplete. The crazy part about this play is that I believe that if both refs ruled it complete and you didn't have that other angle, it would have been ruled a completion and a touchdown. And I don't think in 40-something seconds or 30-something seconds left in the game that the Eagles would have had enough to come back and win the game. But the rookie, Xavier Legette, almost had himself one of the best catches of his career. Let's see if I can pause it right here. I wish that this text wasn't in the way, but right there is where he didn't secure it. And the bettor who's got balls of steals won and netted $442,000 on a $3.1 million bet, which again is believed to be the largest bet in the NFL regular season. All right. There's been some larger bets that's been placed on the Super Bowls, but none that were during an NFL regular season. The Smoke Pit over on YouTube said the best bet in Vegas was Dak over 1.5 or 1/2 to throw an interception. Then he went out and got hurt. Yikes. Got happened to me, said, just so you know, every 10 or so words, your sound goes out. Oh, my goodness. All right, maybe I got to position the mic to be a little bit better. Thank you for letting me know. I'm over here on Restream and not even on OBS yet. And we're going to see how things go when I make the smooth, should be smooth transition over to OBS. All right. Captain Wayne Baconator Adjutant said, "Go Chiefs." Boo. Hey, and I knew a couple of people that were at the Philadelphia Eagles game. That's what's up. Got happened to me, said, "While it's pretty ballsy, it seems sketchy." You think so? You think so? And I agree with Scott. Scott said that Dak Prescott will throw an interception while on IR. Dak Prescott can throw an interception in his sleep. True story. All right. Tonight, speaking of the NFL, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Kansas City to play in what could be an important game in their division. It is an interdivision game. The Chargers are 8-4, while the Chiefs are a one-loss team, being at 11-1. Las Vegas currently has the over-under in this game. I'm looking for the total. Here we go. 4.5 points, with Kansas City favored to win by just over a field goal, 3.5. The last time these two teams played, the score was 17-10 Chiefs. It was an ugly defensive type of game when they played in like week 4, I believe. And the Chargers had all of their weapons on offense in that game. They're going to be without their regular starting running back who got hurt about 2 weeks ago. The Chargers are also without sensational rookie Lab Mikowski. How do you say that fool's name? Which he got ruled out just before the game started. So we'll see how this turns out. If anything, this could be one of those that the underdog could travel to Kansas City and pull off the upset. And y'all heard it here first. That's what I'm going to call. I'm going to say that the Los Angeles Chargers are going to travel to Kansas City and beat them by 10 points. This will be a 10-point win for the Chargers. Nobody's looking for it. I believe all the money is going to be on the Chiefs, which right now the money line is showing minus 230 for the Chiefs, plus 195 for the Chargers. So I'm thinking that the money's going to be on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to pull it off. My video froze. Is my audio sounding good? Said my video froze. However, just keep swimming. I'm going to keep talking. All right. Now, I'm going to open up the call lines here as we talk about the college football playoffs. So if anybody want to call in, all right, 415-889-8367. Let your voice be heard. The college football playoff results are in. And after everything that happened over the weekend, once the finals were in all of the games, the bigger ones being the Clemson SMU game and the Indiana and Iowa State and Arizona State game, right? You saw Arizona State straight demolish the Iowa State. But when you bring up Arizona State, their schedule's I'm not going to say impressive. They won the games that they needed to win, but in some of those games, it was fairly close, right? They beat Utah, who was number 16, 27-19. They beat Kansas State by 10, 24-14. They beat BYU 28-23, all right? And in their last two games, one being against Arizona, where they absolutely destroyed Arizona, who sucked 49-7. So they put up back-to-back 40. But who are they for real? All right, I'm going to bring up the college, and we're going to do this live here. How I think that this is going to go based on who's in. I was considering bringing up why I believe that Bama should be in, but there's really what Scott said earlier. It does. If we keep it at 12 teams, I don't know if y'all understand this, and I wish I had a video to display it. If it stays at 12 teams, there's going to be a scenario in which an at-large team gets in with 4 losses. Right? If you keep it to where the conference football champions, right, in the big conferences all definitely get in, right? There could be a scenario in which the 12th team or 11 and 12 can be a 4-loss team. If you have somebody in the SEC, which this could be the scenario in this year's college football playoffs with Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. They could all be in the semifinals. I'm sorry, the quarterfinals. You could have 4 SEC teams in the quarterfinals. You could have 2 in the semifinals, right? So that it's not going to matter who makes it to the national championship. It can all still come from the SEC. If Bama would have been in, Bama could have been 12. I don't know how you give SMU 11. Let's bring up SMU's schedule, and y'all tell me. I'm going to bring up SMU's schedule here, and I'm going to display it on the screen. Tell me where their the conference championship game deserves to have them come in into the college football playoffs. Let's make this bigger. That's what she said. And I'm going to bring this up on the screen. Share screen. Who would I pull out to put Bama in? SMU. Look, they got over into the ACC and they did what they needed to do to get there. But look at this schedule. Nevada. Who is Houston Christian? BYU, which they lost to, which I think BYU was ranked at the time. I want to say that BYU came into this game ranked. I'm not entirely too sure. TCU, which there was no defense here. Florida State's been garbage all year. A good win against Louisville, which let me see what Louisville's record was at the time. Louisville was 3-2 at the time. Stanford, man. Stanford's record was 2-5. Somebody did the math, and the win-loss record for everybody that SMU played was under 500. They beat a bunch of teams that were under 500. This is teams that deserves to be in the college football playoffs, where Alabama came in, did what they need to do. Yes, they lost to Vanderbilt. Whatever. Yes, they lost to Vanderbilt. Yes, they lost to Oklahoma. All right. But SMU had 0 wins against ranked opponents when they played them. Alabama's losses, came outside of the SEC, right? I'm sorry, came inside the SEC. SEC is my jam. Missouri is probably the most north and west southeastern conference out there. I agree. Scott also said, heck, just seed all teams in early November and play everyone. If they make it any bigger, it's going to get rough. It'll be crazy to see 4 games to win this year, -1 for buys. Take out the buys. Go 16 teams. I think the bowl games would matter more, in my opinion. I think the bowl games would matter more if you did that. All right. look at this. I mean, just SMU schedule is trash. Their strength of schedule is horrible. I would pull out SMU and give the seeding to Bama. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to cry. I'm going to complain. I'm going to sit in my corner and color because that's pretty much all I can do. With everybody that's in, let's see if we could build this live and predict who's going to be the college football champion for the 2024 year. Shout out to Pete said, what up? All right. So let's start off at the top here. In the first round of the playoffs, we got Clemson playing against Texas. Texas lost to Georgia, and Georgia's been one of those enigma of a teams, right? They came into the SEC this year, and they looked real good. But if I'm going to pick a team to advance, I'm going to pick Texas over Clemson. I watched that Clemson team play, and Clemson just didn't seem like they really did enough to secure a deep run through this playoffs. So I'm going to have Texas playing against Arizona State. Looking at the 9 versus the 8, I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's not an SEC thing. It's not. But the Ohio State the Buckeyes, they're one of those teams that I love to see lose, and I love to see them lose to SEC teams. I don't care who makes it out of this game. They're not beating Oregon. Oregon has a stupid offense and a stupid defense. Oregon is my overall pick to win the championship. So let me just say that now. But this Tennessee-Ohio State Buckeyes game, this is wishful thinking. I need Tennessee to beat the Buckeyes. I live here in Maryland, and I know a lot of people that live in Pennsylvania. And Maryland borders Pennsylvania for some of y'all that don't know U.S. geography and maps and all of that stuff. And the people in Pennsylvania swear up and down that they play football better than anybody in any state. And I would say, A, y'all don't play football better than Texas people. No way. When you think of Texas, you think of barbecue and you think of football. When you think of Pennsylvania and Ohio, you think of steel mills and bumps. I'm just going to say it. So I got Tennessee advancing to play Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Looking at SMU and Penn State. Wow. Penn State's favored to win by 8.5, which I think is the largest spread. Actually, no. Texas over Clemson is the largest spread. I didn't catch that they did include the spread here. OSU's favored to win by 7. I think that Tennessee pulls off the upset. I'm going to come over to the comments here about SMU and Penn State. Hey, yeah, thank you. Not sure what we are congratulating me about, but I'll take it. Scott said, Bama was about their losses and how they lost. Bottom line is we need to add teams to the SEC or break it up to challenge teams and make teams even better. The SEC is a level above others, and they don't play as much outside of it, improving the programs. It's thought, not thoroughly thought through. I think I read that right. My bad if I didn't. And you saying that, Scott, makes me think about something else too. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's schedule was the stupidest out of everybody here, right? Their one loss came to who? Hold on. I have to bring this up because there was something that I saw in this that just, it disgusted me. It disgusted me. Notre Dame's schedule. I got to look this up. Doing it on the fly. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, NCAA football. All right. So I'm going to share this tab. Tell me who they played. Tell me who they played. Their loss came to Northern Illinois, week 2. Who was 2-0 at the time? How did they finish? Let me see how Northern Illinois. They finished 7-5, 6 in the MAC. Who did they play? Yeah, they beat Army. Okay. Army, first of all, congratulations. They won their conference championship. They did what they were supposed to do. I still say if you put Army into the college football playoffs, you're asking for a massacre. But who did Notre Dame play? If anybody should be in the SEC, Notre Dame. Put Notre Dame in the Big 10, Big 12, or the SEC and see how prestigious that program is after that. This is garbage. All right, ran over. The Smoke Pit said they need to just realize that it's only about 30 teams that are actually contenders. Put those 30 to 45 teams in their own division and let them fight it out. Want to be a champion, no more playing shit teams. Man, okay. So what are we talking about here? Would you say, because it's like, what, 125 total teams? Maybe have it around, what 8 divided the calculator. What's 100? I think it's 125. So if we got one, oh no. I was like, man, I hope my mouse don't stop. 125 divided. Nah, see, you'd have to make it bigger. All of the conferences should matter. You would need to have an even distribution and then say that every conference champion gets into the playoffs, right? So let me see. How many FBS schools play NCAA football? I think what the Smoke Pit is saying. So there's 134 schools, right? So 134 divided by let's say 8. 134 divided by 8. Well, what makes that an even number? See, because it's 16.75. So how do you get an even number of conferences out of 134 to where it matters? And you have everybody play within their own conference, and then you just put all of those conference champions into the college football playoffs. There's way too many schools, I think, to have an equitable system. Now that I'm talking out loud and thinking out loud, I don't know how we achieve this, Smoke Pit. I'm not sure how we do it. Scott said the SEC's got the easiest road. I'm a Duck, and we got one of the hardest routes. Ducks can easily lose to OSU or Tennessee. I don't think so, man. Not this year anyway. Not this team. This current team looks phenomenal on the field. Phenomenal. All right, taking a look at the SMU Penn State matchup. Penn State's going to destroy SMU. When I watched SMU play, they didn't look like a team that they had the easiest schedule out of the SEC players. All right, and they won the game. They won their games, but it's not like they really went through and they played and beat like any of the top 25 teams out there. So, and when they went up against a good Clemson team, they found out why. They found out why I said that. Penn State's going to advance and play Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. And when we look at Indiana and Notre Dame, they've got Notre Dame favored by 8. Indiana's one of the other teams too. I'd take them out and put Bama in over Indiana. You mean to tell me that if Bama played Indiana, Indiana would win? If I had $3.1 million, I'm putting my $3.1 million on Bama in that one. No way. But this is what we got. And Notre Dame is going to win this one and come through and play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Now, looking at the quarterfinals, Georgia versus Notre Dame, Georgia's going to win. When you take Penn State over Boise State, I like Penn State over Boise State. I think what Boise State did and what they accomplished running the football with their running backs, phenomenal. I think it's a great story. He would be my vote for the Heisman over anybody else that was out there with what he accomplished. And then coming out of this area here, Georgia's going to beat Penn State and advance to the semifinals. I've already said that I like Oregon to be my champion. So Oregon is going to mop the floor with the Suckeyes, make it to the semifinals, and play against Georgia. And I think the Oregon, Georgia, if this is how this plays out, is going to be the most exciting college football matchup out there, right? Texas playing against Arizona State. Texas is going to mop the floor. They're going to mop the floor. But when they meet Oregon, Oregon versus Texas actually might be one of the more exciting matchups here. So when you move Georgia and Oregon out of the semifinals to the national championship, I got Oregon winning it all. And Oregon's going to go through 1-2 SEC teams and win. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. All right. Captain Wayne Baconator said, time to go watch the Chiefs. Talk to you later. Stay awesome. Hey, man, I appreciate you tuning in until kickoff, brother. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. Right now in the first quarter, the Chargers have the ball, but the Chiefs are on the board first. Chiefs winning 3-0 in Arrowhead Stadium. Let me make this bigger. Today's live stream is going to be short. That's all I got. I was trying to do some things a little bit different here right before I went live, and it didn't work out for me. There's some stuff going on right now, technically, that y'all need to figure out why it's skipping. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch the live feed over this. Scott said, I'm betting 3.1 million on Oregon. If I had it, I would. That's the scariest thing, though, is to put it on Oregon to go all the way. I say I'm confident, but y'all know things change whenever money's on the line. If I had that kind of money, would I? If I was Mark Zuckerberg rich, yes. I'm not going to lose any sleep over 3.1 million with that kind of money. If my total net worth was like 15 million and I were to bet 3.1 on Oregon to win it all, it depends on how much money's coming back. Like to bet that and only get back 440-some thousand, that's not worth it to me. Right? That's not worth it to me. But obviously the sports books aren't going to pay out what should be a sure bet anyway. All right, I got distracted here for a second. Giants loses, plane flies a dumpster fire banner. That is hilarious. I just saw something that came through. All right, look, thanks for tuning in. This live stream was definitely not my best. It was not my best. I was trying to do some stuff that was a little bit different. So I apologize. Tune in tomorrow as the Monday edition come on with our station manager and my main man, Ice, followed by CQ with Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesday.